Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Let's talk about the basics of supplementation today. I oftentimes get questions such as, what vitamins and minerals should I include each and every single day outside of any specific health concern that I may have? And this is a very important question because whether you're new to supplementation or maybe you've been taking supplements for years, this is a crucial part of your daily routine. And I want to talk about it in some detail today as to why it's so important to make sure that you include the basics. So I'm Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, and let's talk about why it's important to have a core multivitamin, multimineral routine each and every single day. So I had mentioned the core, so the core is a great place to start. So the core multivitamin, multimineral formulation is a comprehensive blend of all of the essential vitamins and minerals that the body needs just to support everyday functionality. When we think about our immune system, when we think about the cardiovascular system, your brain, your liver, the core multivitamin is the best place to get started. You're going to get those activated B vitamins, which is really important. We want to be making sure that the body has the ability to utilize those B vitamins like methylfolate and methylcobalamin to the best of the body's ability. This also includes the comprehensive I nutrient mix in it. So you're getting the lutein to fend off the damaging effects from blue ray that comes from your light emitting devices such as your cell phone or your computer, or even your television. And then of course we have pack this multivitamin with antioxidants, because the more antioxidants, the better off we are. And we know that the majority of Americans are not getting adequate vitamins and minerals when it comes to their diet. So this is why taking a multivitamin is so integral to really helping to support the longevity of your cells. And not all multivitamins are created the same. We understand that many multivitamins that are out there on the market just don't have adequate amounts of the key vitamins and minerals to really support the different metabolic processes in the body, or they're using inadequate forms, such as using a synthetic folate as opposed to methylfolate. So all of these things certainly make a huge difference. You can look at vitamin E, for example. You always want to make sure that you're using natural vitamin E. We have seen the studies and the research, and they did an interesting study back in 2017, the National Institute of Health, and they found that a good amount of multivitamins on the market were not providing a high enough amount of the vitamins and minerals themselves, that many people who were taking them were still deficient in one or multiple vitamins and minerals. And you can look across the board. We can see how deficiencies in certain vitamins are linked to different health problems. Vitamin D is a huge one, which is why I also say, in addition to taking the core multivitamin, multimineral, you also want to be taking vitamin D3 as part of your daily routine. Now, how much should you be taking? 1,000 IUs, 3,000 IUs, 6,000 IUs? It really depends upon where your serum blood levels are. So have your 25 hydroxy vitamin D level tested at least once a year, so you know how much vitamin D you should be supplementing with on a regular basis. But they've linked low levels of vitamin D with tension headaches and cardiovascular risk. Clearly, when we look at respiratory health, immune problems, we know that vitamin D is this integral link to so many aspects. It helps to regulate over 200 different genes in the body. So we know vitamin D is very, very important. We have to include that into our daily supplementation routine. But the fact that you're utilizing the core multivitamin, that's going to give you some vitamin D, but you're still going to need additional vitamin D on top of that. But you have that full spectrum tocopherol and tocotrienol blend in the core multivitamin, which is important because we recognize the role that vitamin E is actually playing when it comes to heart health, when it comes to vascular health, when it comes to brain health. And we see that cognitive dysfunction is directly correlated to vitamin E deficiencies. We definitely want to make sure that we have adequate vitamin E exposure. Same thing when you think about vitamin C. Low levels of vitamin C have been linked to declining eye health. It has been linked to metabolic syndrome in people who are incredibly young. If they don't get adequate vitamin C, you can see that metabolic syndrome is more prevalent. And a lot of this comes down to the diet. So we do recognize this. So vitamin C deficiency in this country is actually much more prevalent than people even recognize it to be. And this is why your multivitamin is so critical. And taking a high quality, high potent multivitamin makes an enormous difference. So we think about the basics. So we have our core multivitamin, we add in additional vitamin D3, and then we have to think about cellular energy production, which is why I always include ubiquinol CoQ10 into anyone's daily routine. And the reason why is because coenzyme Q10 is produced in the body naturally, but as we get older, that production starts to diminish. And so our source of cellular energy begins to decline. So once you're roughly about 30, 40 years old, your CoQ10 production starts to take this downward trend. And when that happens, that becomes problematic because we know that coenzyme Q10 is essential not only for cell energy production, but also as being one of our most important endogenous antioxidants. So ubiquinol coenzyme Q10, make that part of your routine. Now, this is just the basics. Remember, if someone is dealing with other health conditions that may require higher amounts of ubiquinol, then you want to adjust based off of that. So just for the basics, for everyone, this is across the board. We have our core multivitamin, multimineral formulation. We have vitamin D3. We have coenzyme Q10 ubiquinol. We also have to include magnesium into the mix. So even though you're getting magnesium in the core multivitamin, similar to vitamin D, most Americans are not getting enough magnesium that even what's in the core may not be sufficient. So I always include in an additional tablet of magnesium glycinate. So maybe take that in the evening, maybe with your dinner. Very good idea to have additional magnesium because it's required for over 300 different enzymatic functions in the body. So let's go through the list here. We've got the core multivitamin, we've got vitamin D3, we have ubiquinol CoQ10, we have magnesium glycinate, and finally we also want to make sure that we are always supporting our gut-brain connection, so we're going to include in probiotic HX because the better we can support our microbial environment, that microbiome, the better off everything in the body is going to function when it comes to nutrient absorption, when it comes to our immune system, when it comes to easing inflammation, when it comes to our cognitive abilities. We know that that intestinal bacterial environment is so critical to our overall sense of well-being. So that is the basic 5 things that I include in everyone's daily routine. And then we can add on to that based upon your specified health concerns. If you have concerns with high blood pressure, if you have concerns with elevated blood glucose, if you have joint discomfort, if you have concerns with cognitive issues, maybe you feel like your memory is starting to slip a little bit, then we can always add in other nutrients. But the basics to supplementation must include those 5 things to really optimize at that cellular level so we can make sure that our cells are not deficient or insufficient in those nutrients that they need to keep us healthy and keep us functioning at our full and effective means every single day. So that's the basics. That is all that I have for you for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Invite Health podcast. Remember, you can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Do make sure that you subscribe and you leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Invite Health podcast.